What's up, y'all? You know what? It's 7 o'clock on the dot. You at the sweet spot. Who's in the streets? Elsid. Elsid's in the street. What's up, Elsid?
I'm in these streets. I like these streets.
Oh,
It's bright. This is a bright 7 o'clock. This ain't a dark 7 o'clock.
it's not dark. I like that so much better because when it gets dark early, I go to bed. And then I'm in bed at 5:30, like, oh, okay, so and I will get, comfortable. Um, so ready to love is on a break, but here we are, we're still talking. But I feel like I get a little bit better idea of who these people are when I focus strictly on one person at a time. So tonight we're gonna focus on Husieen. Did I tell y'all to like the video? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. While you're here, go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Because those are important things to do. Husieen. Husieen is he's very quiet. We haven't heard a whole lot about Husieen. Wonder why that is.
Well, we do hear from him. He says something very, very mindful.
Listen, when you line them all up and you go, let's be clear, there's nothing over here for me. I'm just coming from a perspective of, these kids over here and and how I can maybe see how decision making is being made over here. And I'm curious sometimes. I go back to the beginning and I see what they said, and I'm trying to see if it matches what they actually doing. Now that we're a couple, few weeks in, we know that Husieen is 42 years old. I think that's a good settle down age for a man, to be honest, because, they start settling down. He's 6'7" and he's chocolate. So he's walking in the room already at an advantage. All these girls like chocolate and they like 6'7" and 6 feet. Do you have a personal physical type?
No, I don't. And it screams with each of my husbands. The first husband I had was 5'9", which is shorter than myself. And my husband now is 6'3". So no preference, no preference. You just gotta be looking good and smelling good. That's about it. Okay? Have some conversation, It's between the ears. Maybe I should say that. But no outward appearance at first.
I don't know. I feel like over the years my outward appearance changed and then it turned into I don't care.
Breathing. Let's be breathing.
Like I have to be physically attracted to the person, but there's no physical type. I came out here like in my very young teenage years and it was El DeBarge that I was coming for. And then it switched over to like I don't know, Wesley Snipes, then there's a whole lot in between. If you ask me who is my celebrity crush right now, it's been Method Man for a very long time, and I'm going to just stop there. I don't know anything about him, and that's probably why I like him still.
Okay. I could understand.
But I mean, honestly, like after you grow up a little bit, there's no physical type necessarily. I feel like there's a swag, there's an energy that I'm attracted to. So, everybody's got their thing. But I will say 6 foot, he's a good looking man. You know what I'm saying? He's, like you said, very calm in the way he speaks. He's a manager. He's a visual manager for Adidas, and he's interested in interior design. I'm a creative, so I like that. I like an artistic individual. I think a lot of times, though, these people don't necessarily take into consideration what the day-to-day looks like when they're picking who. That's where you get in trouble with having a physical type because you're like, oh, he's 6 foot and just what I like. And then you get over here and he has a regular job. He's a creative, so I feel like he likes his job. And so that makes for a pleasant situation compared to somebody who hates their job and have to go to work to do, bringing that type of energy home.
Yeah, that's a different personality. My concern with him would not be at the job level. Not the job. My concern is who was Husieen when he had to give up his basketball dreams. That transition.
I feel like he found it. A lot of people don't because He have to give it up because I think he just decided, like, you like basketball, and because of his height, people push you that way. But was that ever his dream, or was that just a thing because he's 6'7" and people are like, hey, you should play basketball? My son is 6'5" and he ended up playing football and not doing any of the things. It was just something, an activity. But people will always say you should play basketball, and
Girl, I got the same problem. I got a 6 foot sixer here, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
he's not into the sport. Yeah, so clearly,
Nope.
like when he talks about being into design and things, like he's happy. That's a happy part conversation for him. He gets excited about it. So maybe he wasn't that passionate about basketball. He was like, I'm not. He went to play it in college. He didn't say anything about professional basketball. So
But he said, like, okay, if I remember correctly, he said I think he said he had to give it up, or he had to stop with basketball. So that's why I thought, oh, did you stop on your own, or did you have to give up a dream? But he transitioned. My
he
question is,
transitioned.
right, he transitioned. I want to know, is that transition complete? Which it should be at his age, but he's 6 foot something. All the ladies checking for him. What's wrong with him?
It's I okay.
He
I
got the
don't want to say
advantage.
what's wrong. I don't want to say what's wrong. I don't want to say what's wrong. I don't know.
What's his challenge then? What's the challenge in the dating world for Husieen?
Well, okay. So first getting there, Husieen was very popular in the ladies' lounge. He had they went into the vault. This is from the very beginning. He had Sahara said he was fun and flirtatious, and True said he had good conversation and he was sure about himself. Shanice Child, I would go ahead and say what she said, although she's a hot ass mess as far as I'm concerned. We'll get to her. But she said he make her feel safe and supported. Don't sound like he sounds perfect. He sounds like a whole saint.
That's why you put them wings in Halo, huh?
I mean, he's giving saint, according to them. He definitely makes a good first impression. That's important. I don't remember us really having a whole lot of conversation about him because he been in here like smooth going, and you know what I'm saying?
Right. We talked
Easy.
about him with the second mixer, how he talked about design with Rose. That's the most we talked about him.
Right.
And his date with Deanna at the horse ranch.
Well, he had a couple few more. He had another date. I don't know if you saw it, but we're gonna talk
Right.
about that.
Yeah, we did. We did. He didn't say much, but he did.
He doesn't say much, but okay. Question: you're in this situation. We're at Ready to Love. Me and you, Sid, we're on the cast of Ready to Love, and you got these men over here. And are you going to be more attracted to somebody who's more of a quiet storm, or somebody who's more outspoken and charismatic?
For me, it depends. For me, it depends on the energy. You see, like a quiet storm, I'm gonna need to push and pull at your energy. I'm gonna need to see more than the quiet storm.
Well, what he was
Somebody,
giving was fun, flirtatious, good conversation, sure about himself. That's what he was giving.
I'm gonna need to poke the bear, you know. But I'm an instigator,
I was
so
going to say, poke the bear. Why do you say it like that? I know your son. I don't know his. So,
yeah. This is my season. Yeah, I'm gonna need to poke the bear because I need to see how, at least a little bit of how deep those waters run. I'm gonna need to see, how high those angel wings fly. I need to see another side to you and kind of see if I could draw you out, or if we could just sit in silence. But I don't like to sit in silence. I'm a little instigator, so
hmm.
that's why I would converse with him, Cam, all of them that are kind of quiet, because the ones who talk a lot, I already could clock.
You clock. Right. Or if they take their shirt off, that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah,
Husieen, he likes a little neck nibble, and he like a little tingle in his torso. We getting familiar with Husieen. Um, what Cameron likes to refer to it as, he likes to get warmed up. Warmed up. Do you have any objections to getting warmed up, Elsid?
I always like to nibble on chocolate. We all like to nibble on chocolate. So
I mean,
the manner he wishes to be warmed up and to warm his chocolate, that is perfectly fine.
I don't have any
Perfectly fine.
objections. I think so far he's batting 1,000. He's earning these wings. You said what's wrong, Miss. I like to poke the bear, but we haven't found that thing just yet.
Oh, I done seen a few things, but we gonna get there.
We'll get there. First dates, though. He thinks a perfect date is a picnic in the park. I don't know if he's just saying that because he thinks that's what ladies like, or if that's for real. Like a picnic in the park is, I guess,
Cliche.
yeah,
Cliche. Could you think of
yeah.
something better? I mean,
Come
come on
on,
now.
come on.
Now, if it's a picnic in the park while we're at the orchestra concert in the park, heck
Hmm.
yeah. Add something to a picnic in the park. I don't like the ants. I don't like,
I
a
was
whole bunch
thinking,
of.
ants. We don't like that in the park. What are we eating? We got somebody here. What's up, Jay?
You have Shayna too.
Shayna. You don't do cheap first dates. That's not fair, Shayna. He has a lot of positive things on his list.
He's 6'7". I
He's
mean,
chocolate, for God's sakes.
I don't mind being nibbled on.
We can't nibble on the first date now.
No, we can't nibble on the first date, but we're listing his attributes. Oh,
Listen,
Shayna. Oh, I do coffee date. My husband and I, our first date was a coffee date.
see, this is a testimony to everybody likes different things. I'm not like you. If you can be creative and not spend your money, that's fine as long as I'm having a good time. I live in Orlando, so I can do anything I want. Whoville is like on the expressway.
Now, when I was dating and I was roster dating, that was one of my things I said to the gentleman, like, take me on a creative date and spend no money. Let me see how creative you are. And that was quite enjoyable, though it was stressful for them, but quite enjoyable.
You enjoyed it.
Oh, heck yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's the whole point. Now, he went on a date with Sahara, and yeah, Sahara is my girl. I don't even know why at this point. I feel like, something might be wrong with me, but she's asked very good questions when they were sitting down at the mixer, because we always get over here and like, what the heck are they even asking each other? She sat down the first time with him and she said, what is the quality of a woman that you're looking for? And he said confidence. What else did he say? He said confidence in building a friendship. He said he likes Sahara because she seems real. I think those were good answers. I think those were honest answers. He's definitely very thoughtful before he says what his answer is. Does he have a
He,
sense of humor?
I don't know yet. Have we seen him joking?
Mm-mm.
No, but I'm sure it's there. There's no way he could be serious all the time and have the ladies pouncing and bouncing about him.
I mean, they're giggling. I don't know if it's because he's 6 feet. Husieen and Shanice had a fake date. Like, he makes her feel confident and safe because he's tall and athletic. And I feel like Shanice is about the fakest one here. So I'm not seeing them like do anything else to get to know each other better.
Oh, clutch my pearls. Okay, that was a roller skate date.
Yeah.
She was in her onesie looking cute.
He probably noticed that because he does tend to notice cute outfits and things, but he's a fashion guy, so that doesn't surprise me. I think
And
we
he's
all liked her outfit.
and he's high up enough to look down into the valleys below.
Well, when your valleys are so readily available, you might as well look down at them. Oh God. Who else? Angie.
Oh yes, the sound bath.
You know what I feel like now that I've seen a little more of Hassan? Husieen. Whoo, Husieen. Now that I've seen a little more of Husieen, I feel like that may not be the worst idea. A sound bath date for him. It's the kind of energy that he lives in. He did tell her that he's looking to add to his family, and people got a little bit confused during this date because she brought up that he has a 6-year-old son. We did not know that. And then she's asking him about more children. And I'm like, well, hold on. Before we talk about more children, we know he goes to work every day. I think when people are talking about relationships and finding that person, I don't know that they necessarily consider what the day-to-day routine looks like. You know what I'm saying? So he working out here at Adidas. I feel like based on the job description, he might have to go to multiple stores in order to get the visuals together and manage a team at some point. So that seems like his day may not be done, right at 5 o'clock. It may be long days. And a child that is not a part of his daily routine. So what does that look like? What does it look like him?
Well, his child doesn't live in the same state, but we did learn of his child at the oh
Mixer.
gosh, street
I
fair.
mean, the street party.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
We
what I'm
learned
saying.
there.
Though. But what is it like? Okay, so obviously it's not a part of his day-to-day routine, but what does that look like? Does he travel out to go see his son? So Indiana and Philly, that's not next door.
Right, and we need to see what region of Adidas, because I'm sure he goes to not just in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm sure he does regional
Traveling.
stores. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he would need to relax. So the sound bath would be, beneficial for him.
I don't know. He seemed like he enjoyed it. I was like, he does. He has a lot going on in his mind. I
Right?
don't feel like he was thinking about Angie at this date. He was probably thinking, hey, I'm probably going to come back here.
Shayna got me laughing. She said, I thought he was just dressing the mannequins at the Adidas store.
Okay, I might be glamorizing it. I don't know, Shayna. However, he said manager. So there's more involved. Like you're just not at the Adidas store just dressing mannequins. He's just on visual. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's doing. Is it like a super Adidas or something?
No, what it seems like is the window, making sure the windows, meet the standard or whatever they're
Right, because
supposed
I
to
feel
have.
like they have guidelines. They want things to be fluid throughout each store. So
Right. And
I
we
don't think he's
saw
just at the store. I think he's, making sure all the stores what works best and that kind of thing.
right, and he also showed us where he was at photo shoots and so forth. So maybe he's also part of the, commercial design and stuff like that. So it seems to not just be formally the, window dressing.
Right. That's not what I was getting from it, but I could be wrong. Um, yeah, I feel like that's his kind of date. What else with him and Angie? I don't know. I feel like when I watched the date through just focusing on Husieen, I liked it a lot better. I feel like I like him more than I like her. I don't know that she's the right energy for him. But he
Well,
has other options.
you have him as the angel and you had her as Harley Quinn. How is that going to work? Please watch Rhonda's other video. It is spot on with Angie being Harley Quinn. Oh
I
my
didn't even
gosh.
think about that. Huh. The whole thing was subliminal. Now that I see them together, I don't know. I don't know. Who else did he go on a date with? Okay. Rose. He went on a date with Rose.
Well, Deanna before Rose.
Yeah, but I have something I want to point out with Deanna, so I'm gonna save her for last. Don't disrespect Harley Quinn. You must have been in the car when you were in the chat last week. Because she was there the whole time.
Yes.
So Husieen and Rose said, this is out of his mouth, that he's been having great text conversations with Rose over, since the mixer. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like text conversations. Like, how much texting are you doing? If you're trying to get to know the lady to pick up the phone and, you know what I'm saying? I need to hear what your inflections sound like. Need to get to, see It's more intimate, I feel like. So how great can the conversations be with text? Mr. 6'7" over here is not used to having to do a lot of work.
Wow. Okay. We can have great text conversation. Rose is also busy and creative, and she also has a child that she's taking care of full time. So maybe text is best for her.
Okay, just don't call them great. It's not conversations, I guess. I don't know. Texting back and forth. It's cute or whatever. But I feel like, what do they always say over here? We're at a fast pace. Pick up the phone. At some point, at the end of the night, pick up the phone. It's just, let's talk. If it's not every day, just a conversation.
After seeing some of the conversation with Rose, I understand why he texting.
Whew. I don't know if he's seen it yet. I feel like on paper, these two like look very good together on paper, but not on paper. I don't know.
Yeah, Rose got too many notes on her piece of paper. I
Oh,
would
and they
like to
don't
know,
exist.
right, when we get to her, when you get to her in the future, but there's too much too quiet about him. There's so much we don't know. We just learn on the side or arbitrarily through other people. We don't get to see from him directly. And that's the one thing I don't like what editing is doing with him. It is making him seem like a saint. But we know he ain't no saint, okay? He's 6 something and he ain't been scooped up or ain't scooped nobody up all this time. Some there. He could be married to his work. It could be too much travel. It could be something as simple as that.
What you think, Jay? Jay is in the conversation. Jay is in the house. She's over here at the sweet spot.
Ask the question again.
Oh man, what were we saying?
No, oh man.
Um, we were talking about Husieen and the text conversation versus if you're interested at some point you should probably pick up the phone and call. You know what I mean?
Um, I'm a bit of both. I like an even balance. Okay. Sometimes I can't pick up the phone and call. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff. But I do feel like at some point in your day, night, something, you should set some time aside to just let me hear your voice. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Leave
Especially if
me
you
a
got a nice
message.
voice.
Leave me. But I don't mean like every day. They're getting to know each other. But you met me at the mixer, and it took all the way till now. You know what I'm saying? You haven't called once to say he's saying we're having these great text conversations. I
Maybe,
feel like
but you
he
know
don't
what?
really put in a lot of work. I don't think he's.
If we're having great text conversation, but you're not picking up the phone, I'm assuming off rip because I be in my head like this. You living with somebody
Mm,
because if
living
you
with
could text
somebody
me,
like a roommate or
no, because you can call me if you're living with a roommate.
yeah, yeah.
Now you might be sharing rooms, so you can call yourself roommates all you
Oh,
want, but
we're
clearly,
not there yet, girl. That's a different
that's
conversation.
clearly you can't talk around this person. Why you can't pick up the phone? But even if that's the case, listen, I know people that sit there and will get in the car on their way to work and say, "Hey, I'm just calling out to say how you doing." So that's still not an excuse.
Right,
You're not interested.
especially
That's
when
how
you're
I take
feeling
it.
somebody.
Yeah, you're not interested. You will sit here and play on the phone and talk to me all day on the phone so you can get my vote, but you're not really picking up the phone and have a real conversation with me. I'm just gonna assume you're not interested. And we're playing the same game now.
Well, Angie not gonna give nobody a chance to call or do anything. She makes all the moves before the man has a chance to. Rose been focused on Cameron, so maybe I don't know. Maybe she wasn't available, but they were over here on their date, bonding, trauma bonding over being in a group home. Now, Husieen said he spent time in the group home from 13 years to college. Oh, see, this is when I got uncomfortable. I was like, these are his like very crazy puberty, out of control years, and that's when he talked about his mother, the abandonment with his mother. I don't know if the father was ever there to begin with, but he from 13 to college he was in a group home. But he made it to college though. So was that basketball maybe? Is that how he managed to get, a college education? Because that's not the norm. Like usually from a group home, people have a struggle from there unless they luck out and get a really wonderful situation.
Right, right. That's why I would ask if it's a, group, what kind of group home. But yes, I think it's basketball, but we don't know. We don't know. He could have had great grades and it's an academic scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
With the fact that he stopped basketball, he didn't go pro, but he graduated from college, tells me that it could have been academic because once you stop playing basketball for them colleges, they're like, yo, you got to go. Nice having you. You got to go.
You gotta
But
go. You don't get to stay. I don't know. That's
you know,
why I said he didn't pursue it afterwards, or maybe he was just like, I'm just using this to get, through college. And then after that, I got to find out, there's a lot more questions to be asked. If anybody gonna get it, it's Sahara.
yes.
He gives me more intellectual than athlete, though I do believe he has played.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. It's just his whole demeanor of everything. Like Elsid may think that he has a sense of humor over there. It's given British, if any. Meaning, and I don't mean that as a disrespect, meaning that because I love British humor, that it's dry.
It's
It's
dry.
straight to the point, and there's no smile behind it. So you got to know that is a joke to know or whatever. But he gives that he may have played sports to be an outlet from the group home. If this is the story we're going with,
Mm-hmm.
but his grades also supported it. So he may have had a coach that was about making sure your grades is on point. He may have had some counselors. He had some people that looked out for him outside of the group home. So whichever group home, kudos to the people that was around him at that time.
Yeah, because that's not generally the story you get when you find people in that type of situation. Now, he said he's been in a constant fixing mode with his mother. So she's around. We don't know whatever issues she had that, landed him in the group home, they're still dealing with. And how does that show up in your relationship? I wonder.
Now that's the thing though. If we're putting the blame on mom as why he's in the group home, sometimes kids be in the group home because they out of control too, and
He
he could just
alluded
have
to
resentment.
maybe there was some type of addiction because he said he had to learn that people makes mistakes and now he's learned to be more forgiving.
Okay, well, he need to let go of that. If he learned to be more forgiving, he need to let go some of that resentment. Unless it's just that it's a situation like me and my biological, where it's just like for my sanity, I just got to keep you at a cool distance because you're not going to change, no matter how much I need you to.
Yeah.
So, but that still shouldn't have like an animosity. Like I don't have an animosity with my mom. Like you know what I'm saying. My mom has trust me, blessed me out several times. But I don't have an animosity because I understand there's an issue there. That's a chemical imbalance that's going on there. So it's just like, yeah, she gonna be who she is. And for my sanity, I just like respectfully, like, okay, you do what you do over there.
I feel like, I mean, that's kind of seems like just the way he was telling the story. Um, it seems like he has that same energy because he said, people made mistakes, whatever, but he focused on what he had to focus on to get to what he needed to get to. I don't know that that's necessarily like, even though the situation is bad, the way he articulates things is very clear.
Mm. I know he says it like that with Rose, but in the beginning, in the very first episode, there was animosity in his household from his brother passing.
No, that's
Was
not
that
him.
him? Oh, that's
That's
not
not
him. That's
him.
Khalid.
That's
Huh? Never mind.
Khalil.
Never mind.
Yeah,
That's Khalil. Never mind. Retract my
that's what
story.
I'm saying.
That's
Hasim,
the other. That's that other tall brother. Okay, never
that's
mind.
the other one. He's been very much behind the scenes. And I was like, why is that? What are they not sharing? So I found a couple things. Let me see if I can get this up here. I'm trying to be fancy. So I found some things from the after show. Okay.
Check you out. Yeah. So this week, knowing that the guys are in power, I'm a little at ease. And you know, I'm going on my first date with Sahara. But she better bring it.
We matched it and all that.
I deserve all this? I'm taking all this in.
Take it in, give him a second.
Taking all this in. So this week is Tommy's assignment to get a little personal, which I know Sahara's not going to have an issue with. So I already know I'm going to be in the hot seat.
Let me open up this phone because I got questions.
What you got?
I wanted to be intentional about this conversation. This is our first one-on-one.
Oh, let me get prepared for this. Let me get prepared.
I was definitely eager to lay it on him. I put him in that hot seat because his seat was too cool. So I know that you have one son.
Yes.
Because I don't have kids. Do you want more kids?
I do.
I want 2 to 4.
2 sound good. We can get some fur babies in there to get it before. 2 sound.
You know what? You're not done.
Oh, man.
Your relationship with your baby mother.
It's actually good.
So how does she feel about you like having a girlfriend? Like
We've both been dating, you know, since each other.
okay.
Yeah.
And
She's dating. She's seeing other people. Next.
yes. How is your parenting style?
I'm firm. We can play, but I'm firm and I like to stand by like the old school rules.
He's supposed to straighten up when dad comes though.
Yeah.
He handled it very well. He answered the questions great. So good job, Husieen.
All right, so a little bit about myself that I'll share. Because I want to be open, you know, through the
Yeah,
process.
give me
I wanna be open
everything.
through the process. During my childhood, I spent some time in a group home.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a dark time for me. A time that I didn't understand what was going on. I was confused, I was hurt, you know, just trying to figure life out. You know, I'm doing better, I can smile about it. Do I have my relapses where I think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have that. But that was a very crazy time for me.
Okay. Hearing this news made me definitely understand him a little bit more. I can see why he's quiet and reserved and shy at first. I really felt for him in that moment because I don't feel like no child should ever have to go through that. Give me a hand. I want to be somebody that you can talk to about that, right? Yeah, because I feel like I'm kind of
So
like
are you a safe place?
counselor for
Are you
sure.
a safe space?
I'm a safe space to listen, and I also have a lot of wisdom.
So after sharing my story with Sahara, I definitely feel like I completed Tommy's assignment.
Yeah. We can do some shadow work together, like.
I be in that crib doing a lot of shadow boxing. When
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying that's just what I do when I go into my little, you know, my
Let's
little
try
funk or whatever.
something new.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm ready to, you know, just try new things and, you know, instead of the same old. I'm tired of the same
to
routine.
help you try that.
Okay.
Right?
With Sahara, I realized that I could build a connection there. She took the time to listen, and I appreciate her for that.
You did good on the hot seat. You answered very well. Pleasantly surprised with some of your answers, but you know, it's always.
I mean, we got more talking to do.
We do.
We got more talking.
For sure.
So
I'm sorry, they should have put that in. Sahara is hilarious.
why
Not to
don't
answer
they?
the
I
question
was
well.
like, the best scenes are not on the show. I was like, this was actually a good, enjoyable day. She be asking the good questions. What is up with you and your baby mama?
But he tripped me out when he first comes. Sahara better bring it. I'm like, sir, you ain't gotta worry about that.
Well, if it's one thing she gonna do.
So I don't know if Elsie, you want to go or I go or y'all go. I got a lot of thoughts.
Go ahead.
Let me see which way I want to take it. First, let me get Sahara out the way. Baby girl, if you're going to ask a question, let them land first. Day. She like, so what's going on? You want more kids or not? Scott, I want to. Like, damn girl. I love her. She the best. But okay, with him, he's giving me a little bit of chameleon, a little bit. I know he's being very straightforward with the group home situation. And I'm going to talk on that in a minute. But the way he presented this co-parenting stuff, and I don't know if it's just me and maybe I read it wrong or whatever. When he said it with Angie, it was given like there wasn't like a good communication going on there. Now with Sahara, it's like, oh no, we're good. So I'm trying to figure out what's the hiccup then, why you feel like you're like missing your son. And I get it. Those years, those early years when you're away, you're missing a lot of those first steps, that type of stuff. I get that part of it, but it was seeming almost to the point, and this is how I took it, like he can't even see his child because there was some hold up hiccups going on the other end. So I got more questions on that department.
See, I didn't get that when he was with Angie. They talked about him having a hard time. She said, I know you're sad about not being able to see your baby. Like, I thought she meant like on the regular basis. I didn't know she couldn't see her altogether.
Yeah, that's why I said it's probably me how I took it or whatnot. So, but that's a choice. You're choosing to live in a whole
Well,
nother state away from your baby.
I'm like you said, regardless of what your situation is, his baby is 6 years old. His kid is 6. So you really can't be absent from that.
Mm-mm.
Time where you need to, you know what I'm saying? He got need somebody to still come wipe his ass. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work involved in a 6-year-old that his baby mother is doing, with him not being there.
Now,
And then you come in and discipline.
the editing could have been cut down with the Angie scene, and really, he's a transplant, a full transplant to the show, and he really lives in Indiana.
Mm,
So it could be. I know you're feeling sad because you're not around your child right now.
yeah.
If that's the case, I'll take back everything I say. But right now, it's you're making a choice to be in a whole nother state. You can be there if you want to be there. That's that. On this group home situation and stuff like that, I know he could say he could sit and smile about it and all this stuff right now. Um, and I'm gonna try to be sensitive to this whole thing because I know how it is to be in foster care. I've had cousins that went to foster care and things happen in there. I know people that grow up to group homes, things happen in there, and it's not always just on the physical violation in that regards as far as PDF files and none of that stuff like that. But there's also like violence that takes place in group homes that people always have to be fighting all the time. And for him to sit there and say that he still has like dreams or visions of this stuff like that, like now to this day, or it's still the thoughts still creep up and makes him feel some type of way to this day. I'm like, babes, you need to like really flush that all the way out or whatever. And no disrespect to anybody because I deal with somebody that had their own situation and so I know how it is. But you have to be a different type, you have to be a certain type of woman to be with a person who has gone through traumas like that to the point they're like triggered even in their sleep.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't think that that's something you can handle, don't play. So I think they need to actually start asking him more questions off air, off camera. And we don't need to be all in that business of it all, though I would love to ask him personally, but I wouldn't ask him on air. But I would love to know more about his actual experience in there because it sounds deeper than what he's actually telling us.
And how did he get through it? Because, I didn't hear him say anything about therapy. He says, I learned to do this and I learned to do that. But where did you learn it at?
That part.
That's it.
He could have coped with basketball, like we said earlier. He could have gotten his escape, as you said, through basketball. My thing is that I did get the same thing, Jay. It ain't just you. He seemed hesitant to either he's hesitant to want to share with Angie about his structure with the mother of his child, or he just was more open with Sahara because she made him feel more open. It seemed like with Angie is like she waiting to get to know your story to get her hooks into you. So it's kind of like, do I really want to go this deep with her for her to think I want to be this deep with her? But yeah, he was hesitant. But I don't know if it's because it's a different story or if it's just a different person he's talking to. But he has quite a bit of stuff to say. But as you said, there's a lot of questions. How did he get through stuff? And how is he handling it now if it's still an issue?
Yeah, he didn't say how. He just said sometimes it comes up, but isn't it interesting how Sahara and Rose have the same connections? They are way more similar, I think, than we're getting to see. Rose is exposing it now, but Sahara's connection is Husieen a connection? Because that was a very comfortable date that they had. And I didn't show the video because I didn't want to get in trouble, but it was a lot of smiling and physical touch going on between the two of them.
Well, the thing with that though is though Sahara is loud and outspoken and things like that. At the end of the day, she has a soft spot to be a soft space. I mean, a safe space. You know what I'm saying? Just like how that whole conversation went, and it was like she not judging, she didn't have no judgy questions or anything like that. She's just asking questions to like, I'm really interested in knowing you. And Rose is just calm with that. Rose is that I'm a calm, get to know you type person or whatever. And so that's what they share in common. And I'm pretty sure there's a side to Rose that is Sahara-ish when it comes down to it. You know
And
what I'm
vice
saying?
versa,
It's just
because both of them like Cameron too. Both of them like the same,
hmm
you know. I don't
yeah.
know. I was like, if you know how you get caught up a little bit. I'm like, I don't know why I'm so caught up over here on this date when I know this lady said the earth is flat. And so I don't know that, that's it, but I like him so far. He's definitely moved up on my, my radar because who's at my top? Khalil is at my top. Miss Deanna and him were not a connection at all. Deanna likes cute boys. And although he's cute, she also likes them a little aggressive. If they offer any kind of like soft side, I don't think she likes that. They meet up and go horseback riding together. And she said, what did she say? He seems like he holds on to things and he has to be triggered in order to open up. I had something else I wanted to share. Now, he says like he felt attacked by her and that he has no issues communicating with his woman. That's what he said. What did I do with that other video? I thought I was so prepared. Let's see. Do you think him and Sahara are a decent match? Is anybody a match for Sahara? I don't know why I'd be going so hard for her.
It could be. I mean, it depends on what they want. We don't know all aspects of them, but he seemed to be quite open, taken, physical touch. He was open to that as well. It could be that, he allows her to be as, loud and expressive as she wants to be, and she allows him to be chill. It could be.
I had this video. I can't find it, but go ahead, Jay.
Relationships work best when people just let people be who they are and love them for that. And the one thing about Sahara is she just needs somebody to let her be who she is, but knows how to like reel in the hope when it comes out, and vice versa. So if people, that's why I think right now, like with Hassan and Cam, even though Cam keeps trying to change her a little bit for himself, if they would just let her be and just love her as is, they would get the best Sahara out there. And she's already going to be like, she's already that person that she already gives me. She's not really trying to change you for her. She's trying to let you be who you
Who
are
you
and let me
are.
see if I like you.
I think that's why it bothers her so much that they keep trying to change her. Because that's not where she's coming from. I can't find it. It's somewhere, but he was having a conversation with Rocky when they were over at the house. Husieen was, and they were talking about communication, and he said that he is looking for someone who, well, how did he say? He's looking for somebody who can see both sides of a situation and is not always like only gonna accept their point of view in an argument. He looking for somebody that's not selfish. It just seemed very personal the way he said it. And I was like, is that what was going on in his last relationship? And he says, sometimes one of my biggest thing is communicating, and I'll bite my tongue so hard until, I'm nearly bleeding before I decide to say something. And I was like, that's interesting because that's what the lady said. And we jumped on her for it, but he literally said it. He said, he holds it in so long until he, can't take it anymore when it comes to communicating.
I wonder, but so okay, so like me, I'll say something, but I won't continuously say something because I don't want to be a nag. I'm looking for you to go ahead and change that behavior off of the time that I said it. I might hit you again like a week or two later, like I did say that or whatever and stuff like that. Because I know my petty side. Once my petty side kick in, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be unfiltered. It's gonna come out when it come out or whatever stuff. So then I might be an over communicator. I might be communicating all the way wrong then.
Well, he said
But
that
that's
too. He said that to, I think he said it to Deanna. He said, sometimes I feel like I'm too straightforward in not communicating. I've done too much. And that's when she jumped in and was like, oh, really? Because I feel like you don't communicate at all and you hold things in. You have to be triggered before you say something. As he was trying to explain to her how he communicates.
that that is a catch because okay, so when we are letting a person be a person, we don't really say nothing because we're just trying to observe them and watch how they do and move or whatever. So it's just like, do I say something? It's like right, what I'm going through right now at my job right now is like this one dude just keep doing stuff and it's like, do I say something? But I don't want to be a bee about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of let it be, and then I'll go behind and correct, which is not the best thing to do either, because it's just like that person gonna keep doing the same thing, and I'm gonna just be the one
You're
frustrated
going to
at
be
the end.
chasing behind. Yep.
Yeah. And so it's like when I do say something, I'm at a space where it's like I'm kind of fed up, but I got to check myself. So he may be one of those last minute people, but he might be able to check himself on how my temperature is and let me see how I'm gonna say this coming out when it comes out. That's the real question. It's not about if he communicates or not. It's like when you do blow up or you let it sit for so long, how do you actually let it out? Do you still let it out in that same manner as if this was the first time, or now are we exploding on that person or whatnot? So that's the thing that really is it. But I get where Deanna comes from because he is very reserved,
Well,
and that's why I said I
she
don't know if
doesn't
he
like
has really
anything
a
about
sense of
that.
humor, huh?
Yes, she doesn't like anything about a reserved person. She's got a particular type. One thing is for sure, they were clear that they were not a match. But I thought it was interesting that the very thing that he said to her, like he got all in his feelings. I don't have no problems communicating with my woman. And I was like, but you said, you said sometimes that's a problem. I don't know. I have a tendency to hold things in and blow up.
But I'll let Elsie go. But that's why I said I wonder if he's kind of a chameleon because he says one thing to certain people, and other people they get like something else,
Mm-hmm.
a little variation of the same thing, but it's a tweak different or whatever. Like you're a good communicator with her, but you're telling us that you may wait till you blow up.
Or has. I don't know. I guess, that he has a 6-year-old son with someone that lives in another state. And he's, you see kind of how somebody is based on the way they get along with the person in their last relationship. Not an ex, but did they have a child together? So if they're handling each other with care, is something that, I guess you could take note of. If, like, oh boy over here with 5 kids, it's like one of them is a problem. How do you deal with that? He doesn't seem like the type that blows up. He seems like the gentle giant. I don't know. I don't think the man is a saint, El Cid. However, I think out of the choices that are here, he is definitely one of the better choices.
I need to see that play out because it's them quiet ones, okay? It's them quiet ones that sometimes, we get shocked that they blow up, that they have the capacity to blow up. I need to see, or hear how you handle things, in anger. Because you can't be always just quiet and pensive, how in a matter of, those ladies who are looking for a leader, it's like, how do you lead? How do you give your direction? Because you can't be quiet with that. You've got to say, hey, these are our plans. This is what my thoughts are. And it seems that he's very vocal with Sahara. So maybe he's more comfortable with a more vocal woman,
I
you
feel
know?
like he's definitely not giving that kind of leader. He's not. he would definitely probably be better with someone. But I mean, is that what he likes, or is that what he keeps doing? Because he doesn't want a woman who is going to be argumentative.
Good question. But is Sahara argumentative with him? I think she's just,
I
constantly
think
talking.
she's vocal. I think,
Right.
all the things that they have said about Sahara, I was like, dang, she get to the good questions. She does a lot of this, thing, wiggling around and, doing that Sahara thing. But I'm like, I don't see her being any more. What do they keep using the term hood? Is that what they call her? She's a little hood. And I'm like, she's not a little more hood than any of them, honestly. When you look
Well,
at
some of them are more polished, is what they're trying to say, but
okay,
they're doing that for the camera.
who's more
As we
polished? What's the one that everybody likes? Tay?
Right. Tay presents polished. Rose presents more polished. It's
Until she
just how
don't.
until they don't. Exactly. Exactly. I
Yeah,
just
like
love Sahara because she's just raw and this is who I am. I
he
love it.
says she's real, and I like that. I like that about her.
I'll say this difference though, why I feel like he's open with Sahara more than he was with Deanna is if you come to me with a judgy attitude, what I gotta tell you? What do I have to say to you? You know what I'm saying? You already have a preconceived notion in your head of how I am. So why should I explain anything to you? So I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to be open with you. I'm not going to give you anything or whatever because I know in my mind I'm not changing yours. But see, Sahara doesn't do that. Sahara is open to receive what you are telling her. So therefore, I'll be more open to give you more information or whatnot. And you could tell they talk. The men are talking as much as the women are talking, and I'm pretty sure it's like, man, she think I'm this, she think I'm that. So he come to the conversation like, you probably already got some thoughts about me. I'm about to change your mind.
True. And I feel like
Whatever.
the way he was raised, I you can't discount what happened in his life before he got to the group home, but I feel like he's used to being observant to people before he just jump in. He has to be, and he's an athlete, so he's used to, paying attention to all the things that are moving. You got to be quick in basketball. I can't
That
speak.
could all
You could probably speak on that better than me.
that could also be from living in a group home. You better be observant.
You got to be observant and see how people move.
And you pick up on people real quick. So I don't know. I just feel like it's Deanna's attitude and her mannerisms that make people a little bit more offstandish with her. They don't want to open up to her or talk to her in a type of way or whatnot. Because it's just like all those little things that she was saying. I put him on the little horse because I just want to see. Like all that little stuff right there, that comes out. That is not just your thoughts. It comes out in all of your body expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I think, I feel like he's for real over here. He's not faking the funk. I think he's honestly somebody, at a particular age that's looking to settle down. He seems very settled.
I will say this. Though I'm no longer in the Facebook group chat because they done kicked me out way back in the DC season, and I didn't even do nothing. So that's neither here nor there. Yes, El said I've been banned from it, and I don't even know what I did. Wow. So I'm assuming somebody got to one of the administrators that don't like me, but that's neither here nor there. Oh no, they would have had to know my actual name because I went under my real name, so I don't even know what I did. However, I've been hearing they've been tearing Deanna up over there on the Facebook group chat. I can't tell y'all what they're saying about her because I don't know, but they've been tearing her up from what I hear.
Send me what the name of the chat is. I'll go peek.
It's literally Ready to Love group. Yeah, it's Ready to Love group. Yeah, you have to look at the numbers too, because the number it's the one with the most numbers. It's the higher number one because there's a few of them that might say Ready to Love and put a ring on and all that other stuff, but it's literally just the Ready to Love.
Well, I know she has been coming out with a lot of disclaimers, little videos. I didn't do this, and I didn't. And this, I really like to judge the whole situation based on what came out of your mouth. We don't have any other choice because of all the flimflammery that goes on with, production and how they try to tell a story. Right now, I think Mr. Husieen, I know I've called him the wrong name 75 times. Husieen is definitely one of the better candidates, I think, if you're going to go for somebody who is maybe ready to love or start to be in a relationship. I don't know what's the line between um, red flags and necessarily just picking people apart. You know what I'm saying? What are his red flags aside from him maybe like still dealing with some of the issues that he grew up with? What are his red flags?
Well, if you're someone who wants your person there, if his job requires him to travel a lot, we don't know. We only heard his side of the relationship with his child's mothers, but we're hoping that it's a good relationship. There's a lot of things we don't know because we don't see a whole lot about him. And to
I hope it
hear,
is because they don't show that very often either. I hope it is because I feel like there's a lot of guys out here. I know plenty of women who don't have problems with their fathers of their children. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that is the case, that they're not putting another story out there. We don't know the proximity of him and his child, how much time they spend together, but I do know there's a lot of men that live in the same town with their kids and don't see them. So, you know, I guess we'll see, y'all. We got, all summer to talk about it. Y'all got anything else on Husieen?
no, nothing much. There's a lot of questions, but as we see who he gravitates to, we'll see exactly who he is.
Um, I'm not mad at the whole Sahara Husieen matchup. You know, I don't know what's to come. I don't know if that was the only interaction because they keeping things like, off the show and on behind the scenes. But I like it. Rose, I don't know about Rose. Something about Rose tells me she's a little tick tick boom. At least with Sahara, I see it. It's out there. It's right there for me to see. So, and while Cam is over here trying to tame her and handle her, he might be able to handle her a little differently, where they come to each other, like Jay was saying, without judgment. And, we have a love story. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I think that's it. Sid, what you got going on? What's happening with you coming up?
Coming up, Sunday I have two lives, one for Love is Blind Sweden. We just had the reunion. I just did a live reaction to the reunion. And I also have Married at First Sight Australia. They have made their final vows. They have made their decisions as to whether they're going to continue or depart. And I will let Jay let you know what I usually do at her channel.
That's funny. You don't usually do anything at my channel. Why would you say something like that? No,
Oh my God.
that's just really weird. That's crazy. Anywho, um, yeah, we're back tomorrow. I know we had a couple of weeks off or whatever. Thanks to Ready to Love. That blame them, not me. But I did have a job. I was transitioning and I was working some doubles, so I was a little tired too. But we're back with Never Ever Met tomorrow night. So we'll be back. The ladies will be back over there. Hopefully, these two here have freed up their calendar to join. I might have one or two new faces as well. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll be back with Never Ever Met. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to do somebody's son. I think that's what it's called or whatnot. And I got to just figure out. I haven't figured out what day because Love and Marriage Detroit comes on a Saturday. I just have to figure out what day. It might be sometime a Monday or a Tuesday evening, but I haven't set a date yet. So I'll let you know on that. But we'll be back with Love and Marriage Detroit once it comes back. Yep, and that's on over at Another Round JS. You can find me over there. And yeah.
Well, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm ready for the Never Ever Mets. Thank y'all for coming. I'm trying to get my self comfortable with these lives. It's a lot of pressure. for your girl over here. But I feel very blessed to have y'all here. And Shayna was here. I don't know if she's still here in the conversation, but she be here. I have to like see if Shayna will come up and chat with us one day. I'll be back next week with I don't know who. It'll be a girl. I'll decide at some point this week. In the meantime, y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, we'll see you when we see you. Bye.